It is 1980, a time when game developers had so much to choose from in terms of never-before-seen ideas. Nichibutsu, otherwise known as Nihon Busan, decided to make a game based upon those crazy skyscraper climbers, and so was born Crazy Climber. With the goal of scaling a series of skyscrapers using two joysticks, one controlling the left side of the character's body, the other the right, Crazy Climber was the first in the climbing games genre, which also beat Nintendo's 1981 Donkey Kong. Crazy Climber was the third highest earning arcade game of 1980 in Japan. On your way to the top of the building, there are many obstacles to avoid, such as windows that open and close, residents who throw objects at you, a condor who drops eggs and craps on you, a giant ape whose punches can prove deadly, falling steel girders, and iron dumbbells, as well as live wires which protrude off electrical Nichibutsu signs. Not all is bad though. The Crazy Climber does have one ally, a pink lucky balloon. If he is able to grab it, the climber is transported up 8 stories. The goal of the game is basically to reach the top of the building, where a helicopter is waiting to whisk you off to another location. There are 4 skyscrapers in total. Should you manage to complete all 4, the game loops back to the first, but now with a higher difficulty setting. The first port of Crazy Climber was released on the Atari 2600 in 1982. This port was developed by Atari in-house and can be considered a reasonably good port. It features a lot from the arcade and goes one better by making it actually easy to control. The original arcade with its 2 joystick control was very tricky to get used to. On this Atari port, moving left and right is a simple case of moving the joystick left or right, while climbing up is performed by pushing up to move your arms up, while pushing down to move your legs up. Doing the opposite will make you climb downwards. It may sound a little complicated, but it works rather well. For the first time on Retrocore, we are actually featuring an Emerson Arcadia game. Wow, over 460 episodes, and this is the first time. As you guessed, the Arcadia wasn't that popular, and taking a look at this 1982 developed port of Crazy Climber by UA Limited kind of tells us why. The game can arguably be described as being more basic than the 2600 version. The controls are super simple, just push the direction you want to go. You can climb up the center of the area to avoid windows, and there doesn't seem to be any people dropping stuff. The end of the stage is different though. Rather than just jumping into your helicopter and flying off, you're actually tasked with guiding the helicopter back to the ground. What's strange is that there are a load of other guys climbing up the building. December 26, 1986 saw the release of the Famicom version. This was developed in-house by Nihon Busan and even came with unique controller adapters to mimic the arcade twin joystick controls. Basically, you had to play the game with two Famicom pads, with both in vertical orientation. While this was great for arcade accuracy, it made playing the game incredibly difficult, as you can clearly see from this footage. Still, on the plus side, this Famicom version is far better looking than the arcade game it is based upon. Part of the video game anthology series, this was Volume 5 and also contains Crazy Climber 2. Denpa developed this one with a release of August 27th, 1993. As you can see, it is practically identical to the arcade game. Unfortunately, it's also practically impossible to play due to how the controls are done to emulate the original arcade version. Crazy Climber was also on the Super Famicom as part of the Nichibutsu Arcade Classics, which got a release on May 26, 1995. Developed in-house at Nihon Busan, this version also has stupid controls. I mean, moving up and down is fairly straightforward, but moving left and right is so confusing. Often the character will just stop moving for no easy noticeable reason. On the plus side, there is an option to use twin controls like the Famicom release, but this is still tricky. There's also an arrange mode, as you can see right here. Also released in May 1995 was the PlayStation version of Nichibutsu's Arcade Classics, again developed by Nihon Busan. This is basically the same as the Super Famicom version, but now also includes a version of the game called Crazy Climber 85, which is basically what the arrange mode on the Super Famicom release was based upon. On July 29, 1999, we saw Nihon Busan release a version of Crazy Climber for the Wonder Swan. This is rather ugly considering how nice many Wonder Swan games look. This bare bones port also includes a Wonder Swan mode, which looks even worse and features some horrible level design. Maybe the worst official release. Another PlayStation version of Crazy Climber, this time called Crazy Climber 2000. Yep, you guessed it, it was released in 2000, February 3rd to be precise. It contains a 3D version of Crazy Climber as well as the original game. The original game is taken directly from the Nichibutsu Arcade Classics collection. There was also Hyper Crazy Climber released on the PlayStation before this one, however that is a totally different game. Oritachi Gensen Zoku Crazy Climber was a PlayStation 2 release by Hamster on July 21st, 2010. Many of the Hamster Oritachi Gensen Zoku titles were pretty piss poor emulation. This is no exception. I mean, the game runs okay, but the video quality is a horrid, blurry, interlaced mess. Best avoid this. Did you know that besides the arcade emulation on the Wii Virtual Console, there was also an original Crazy Climber? Yes, it's true. Well, it's actually based upon an updated arcade game. Sadly, I can't show you it running because it requires waggle controls and my nunchuck is dead. So this is as much as I can show you. There are numerous versions of Crazy Climber in mobile LCD and VFD form. This Bandai one is the only one that has been emulated, but I don't think the controls work. The one I remember and owned was a yellow unit by Epoch Games. It was an LCD unit, however, I've never seen one pictured on the net. It must have been ultra rare, or I'm mistaking it was by Epoch. And let's take a look at all those versions of Crazy Climber running side by side.